From the NITEC Sports Center in North Richland Hills, Texas, Clover Cup 2019 continues. Game number 4 of the night is Assassination City Roller Derby taking on the top-seeded Crossroads City Derby. Hello, everyone. I am Cecil B. Puff Daddy, glad to be joined by the Dork Mistress for the first game where teams are really going to be moving on into the championship round.
So Crossroads City have so far not played today, so the other teams have all had to have a go first. Crossroads coming in as that top seed. Assassination with a big win this morning over their opponents in game number 1, which was Chattanooga. It's been a long day already. It's been full of amazing roller derby, but this is game 4, so we're about to see what Crossroads are going to bring into this.
And speaking of Crossroads, let's take a look at the Crossroads lineup.
So we have 0, Zed Destroyer, 0906 Hits and Salsa, 121 DD, 16 Inja Venus, 199 Crazy Kraut, 30 Rex Bex, 321 Rocket Brewster, 329 Triple Axel Rose, 45 Nikki 6 Shooter, 5 General Grand Slam, 58 Honey Basher, 587 Fearless Foxy Fighter, 6 Malibully Barbie, 90 Spicy Shira Chacha Smith, and 999 Twisted Sybil.
For Assassination City's Conspiracy from right here in Dallas, Texas, number 1 is Tumagumba. Number 1219 Curls Gone Wild. 130 Sparrow Dynamic. Number 15 Moxie Brown. 181 is Cannibal Cupcakes. 2011 KT Swoosh. 26 Wilhelmina Strikes Fear. Number 32 Manic Mayhem. 333 Roxy Redding. Number 5 is Ruby Rad. Number 588 Corkscrew You. Number 69 Boogaloo Tauntaun. And number 934 Luna Slam Good. We mentioned that Assassination City played earlier today, and they had a very successful run.
Absolutely. They won against Chattanooga. It was 254 to 189. And these were 2 very closely ranked teams. So that was a probably bigger than expected win by Assassination City. So they're going to have that bump of confidence coming out of that first game, which should hopefully get over the fact that they've got more tired legs than Crossroads City are going to have.
KT Swoosh was the star for Assassination City in game number 1. Swoosh, who actually played back in my old home territory with the Tilted Thunder Railbirds up in Everett, Washington, scored 130 points in the first game today. Goomba Tuma came on late in the first half and still scored 51, mostly in the second half points.
But KT Swoosh was absolutely fundamental to that significant win for Assassination City, and it's no surprise that they're on the jam line in that first jam.
And she goes up against General Grant Slam, who concurrently plays for a team in Mexico at the same time as playing at Crossroads City out of Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Double the fun. That's somebody who really believes in roller derby.
So we have a back block called up against the Assassination City Jammer, and that would be KT Swoosh. Ruby Rad also going to the penalty box, and it's a party already.
Jammer Hokey Cokey, as I found out you don't call it in America. And we have KT Swoosh released from the box. General Grand Slam also now back on track. So this will be a full 2-minute jam. There will be no lead jammer. And it is General Grand Slam who gets the best out of the pack and is through to complete her initial pass.
General Grand Slam, who plays for All-Star Juarez at the same time, trying to get around the 2 blockers and does get around Manic Mayhem for the first points as we've cleared the dust off the scoreboard and underway.
KT Swoosh being held back by that strong defense. 2 blockers able to hold her back, but is now through to complete her initial pass.
So Swoosh finally has an opportunity to score because obviously no lead jammer with both jammers going into the penalty box. Swoosh meeting a full 4-wall anchored by 321 Rocket Brewster.
General Grand Slam pushing out up front, has only 2 Assassination City blockers ahead.
Assassination City trying to do their best to bridge.
But it's General Grand Slam who gets out first, completing her second scoring pass. 8 points now on the board for Crossroads City Derby.
Swoosh finally finds an opening and is able to score some points. Picks up 4 just before the whistle blows. So after one jam, it's 10-4. Crossroads City with a lead.
That jam felt like it was forever. But you can see the points, and Crossroads City really clearly wanting to lay down a message to Assassination saying, yeah, Katie Swoosh might have been, this amazing jammer, but we've been watching. We've got your number.
And that might be part of the advantage that Crossroads has, is they were able to watch live their opponents, which obviously Assassination City probably doesn't have a lot of game tape on Crossroads.
It's Rex Bex as lead jammer for Crossroads City, second lead jam for Crossroads City, and it's Luna Slamgood on the line for Assassination City.
On the first scoring pass, Slamgood trying to make her way around, or correction, that's Rex Bex trying to make her way around. I need Rex Specs to be able to see what's going on out there sometimes, but...
And it's Luna Slamgood who's got through out of the pack on her initial pass with a star stash. Both jammers approaching the pack. Rex Bex gets the points, calls the jam.
And Crossroads City extends their lead to 17-4.
That is an impressive 2 jams for Crossroads City, 17 points. Definitely laying that message down.
Now stepping up, Wilhelmina Strikes Fear against number 90 Spicy Sriracha. Wilhelmina I've seen actually jam for quite a few years, back in the days when I actually used to call Assassination City. That was about 5 years ago. Wilhelmina using the toe stops, very athletic, but in the attempt, it's Spicy Sriracha as your lead jammer.
I thought 5 years ago is decades in roller derby.
It seems like it. Spicy Sriracha, a member of Team Korea, obviously has a lot of great experience.
But it's Wilhelmina Strikes Fear who gets out of the pack to complete their initial pass.
And 4 points on the board for Crossroads City. Looking to the coach and calls it off before Wilhelmina struck points.
So that's the second jam in a row that Assassination have been denied points, and that's really crucial in these first few minutes to get that momentum for Crossroads City and really establish a lead, while Assassination are still trying to work out how to close down Crossroads City.
Earlier today in the Kansas City Rockin' City game, Rockin' City came out and it was like 1-2 point jams, and they gained a lead until suddenly the dam burst on points. It's Hits and Salsa against Sparrow Dynamic. That's your jammer tandem. Hits and Salsa for Crossroads City. Hits and Salsa will hit the penalty box for a forearm call.
So this is now a power jam for Sparrow Dynamic. I think we've seen in all the games so far today, the teams really testing each other out in these first few jams. Bit of tentative, bit of, let's try this, let's try that, keep it really tight. I don't think these are teams that have played each other a lot.
Crossroads City, very interesting story. They had been wanting to play in Clover Cup forever, and the rankings just didn't quite work out. And this year, when the rankings were right there, they accepted an invitation with great glee. No doubt about that.
And coming in as number 1 seeds as well.
For Assassination City, it's an OG ACRD as Sparrow Dynamic, who played for Assassination City, then went away for a little bit. Now back home in the gray and black for the Conspiracy. We'll have to recycle back.
But it is now a power jam to Assassination City as Hits and Salsa hits the box for the second time.
After a back block is the call. Sparrow Dynamic having quite the tete-a-tete going up against number 199, the Crazy Kraut, who recently transferred from Charm City in Baltimore. And some whistles at the end of the jam there.
And we're just seeing what the impact of that is on the points. But we have the Crossroads bench in the middle, so... Oh, he was just seeking some confirmation, but it is... It's 3 points for Assassination City in that last jam. There you go, 7 points for Assassination City, 21 for Crossroads City. Hits and Salsa on the jam line up against KT Swoosh.
And both jammers starting in the penalty box, but Hits and Salsa is the first one out of the box. So,
and it's two blockers up front that Hits and Salsa is able to push past lead jammer for Crossroads City.
So Sparrow Dynamic is actually the jammer as she got called for the penalty going into the box. And very quickly, star pass up to Goomba Toomba, who had a great second half in her game earlier today against Chattanooga.
But Hits and Salsa sees that danger, calls that jam. And that was 2 points for Crossroads City, taking them to 23, which is a lead of 16 points over Assassination City. But we are still only 8 minutes into this game. And I think we've all seen that is not a comfortable lead for Crossroads.
Never.
This is anybody's game at this stage. Assassination City got that chance to change it up. KT Swoosh on the jam line up against General Grand Slam.
General Grand Slam with 10 points so far today. KT Swoosh scored 4 in her first jam. KT Swoosh.
Oh, it's General Grand Slam who is in the box with a 2 penalty, so we'll sit a whole minute. So this is a huge opportunity for KT Swoosh and Assassination City.
Well, we mentioned KT Swoosh trying to get out and score some points, and will be able to now. The swoosh comes from, just do it attitude from Nike, thus the KT Swoosh.
But that's initial pass completed. Now scoring points, KT is in the pack. Hit out by number 6 from Crossroads with a good recycle.
Malabully Barbie with a big hit.
And that's really effective up-front blocking from 999 and 45.
Twisted Sybil and Nikki 6-shooter. And Swoosh on the toe stops. Did she stay in? She wasn't sure, so she got back on the track after recycling a bit. And the Crazy Kraut with a forearm call will take a seat in the penalty box. KT Swoosh says this has been a little bit taxing, calls it off after scoring a few points.
But great work from Crossroads City Derby blockers there to minimize the impact of that minute. So only 4 points for KT in Assassination City. It will start as a power start to them, but that could have got a lot closer in that last jam. So Assassination City will be really keen to secure lead and maximize this minute.
So we're seeing for the first time to the jam line Dee against Luna Slamgood, and Dee breaks 3 for lead jammer. Luna Slamgood right there as well. So always love seeing the competitive jamming coming to the back of the pack. And Luna Slamgood steals 4 points for Assassination City.
So we were talking about how it was 16 points apart. It is now just 8 points apart. 15 for Assassination City, 23 for Crossroads City. Assassination really getting the momentum in those last couple of jams, using the penalties to their best extent to close that gap down. Just 8 points in this game. And we've only had 10 minutes.
Wilhelmina strikes fear against Rex Bex. And everyone trying to do what could best be described as a rugby scrum. Except Wilhelmina, did she cut the track? No, Rex Bex cut the track. Wilhelmina thought it might have been called against her, so she recycled as she goes against the Crazy Kraut.
And pushing her way through turn 1, and it is a scrum.
Wilhelmina, using the power that she's so good at, finally breaks through. But that took almost 40 seconds for her, and that definitely will add to the fatigue factor. 45, Nikki 6-shooter to the box.
Rex Bex standing, now released from the box, back on track. So Wilhelmina able to pick up lead, but again, Crossroads City not letting Assassination City get the best of the penalties.
Malabully Barbie bullied Wilhelmina Strike spear, and that's not something you do often. Knocking her to the outside. Meanwhile, Rexbeck's able to get around to score some points. Wilhelmina in a battle with, I believe that's 268, but the numbers just kind of go together. It's like CEEC.
Yeah. So ACRD picking up 3 points in that last jam, taking them to 18 points. This is now a 5-point game. So that's 3 jams in a row that Assassination City have closed that gap and denied Crossroads City any points. That's a big swing when you think the first 3 jams were completely the other way.
Spicy Sriracha against Sparrow Dynamic. And Sparrow Dynamic breaks free early, is able to extend the pack, has one more blocker to beat, and it's called for cutting the track as she couldn't get around the crazy crowd. So now it's a power jam opportunity for Spicy Sriracha,
who gets that offense in from Nikki 6-shooter, perfectly timed. But in that Assassination City able to reform up front. 2 blockers left, but Spicy Sriracha has now pushed out to pick out lead jammer.
A dog groomer in her regular life. Spicy Sriracha goes through the stage doors, and now the wave will approach from the inside line. But will it open up an opening for Spicy Sriracha? No.
And it's Sparrow Dynamic back on track out of the pack, who is now pushing out up front and is out on her initial pass.
Spicy Sriracha with a penalty, and now Sparrow Dynamic with the power jam for Assassination City's Conspiracy, but going up against a full and very tough 4-wall, being anchored by triple Axel Rose and 45 Nikki 6-shooter.
We are seeing a large number of jammer penalties for this early in the game, and they are having that impact on the scoreline and keeping it really close. Sparrow Dynamic now pushing out up front, is hit out and recycled.
The crazy crowd takes a seat in the penalty box. Her 4th penalty already, and we still haven't reached the midway point of half number 1.
And Spicy Sriracha is back on track and keeps on her toe stops on that edge. That was fantastic track knowledge and footwork to keep her on track, but gets the jam called off. 4 points for Assassination City. And we are now a 1-point game. So even with all that box toing and throwing, and it's 3 points for Crossroads City, so I take that back. It is now a 4-point game.
Crossroads City tenuously holding on to that lead.
But Assassination City closing down another point. So that's 4 jams in a row that Assassination City have come out with the points. It's KT Swoosh on the jam line up against Hits and Salsa.
KT Swoosh has not shown the speed that she had in the first game, but oh my, she has an opportunity to do it now.
Lead jammer for ACRD, but Hits and Salsa out of the pack, about half a track behind. KT Swoosh gets out, and Assassination City are playing this jam long, so they think that KT can get through again.
Swoosh with 4 points on her first scoring pass, matched by Hits and Salsa.
So KT now up against a full 4-wall from Crossroads City.
Yeah, Nikki 6-shooter.
Oh!
And just as we talk about the defense, Hits and Salsa with a beautiful move.
They left a good 3 centimeters on the inside line, and you can't do that with with Hits and Salsa.
For those of you in the States, that's about an inch, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah. Sorry, metric.
Oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it.
But even with that, it is still just 1 point on that Crossroads City picked up ahead of Assassination City. 34 points. Now playing 29. 13 and a half minutes or so left in this game. And it is super tight. I mean, it's a 5-point game.
And this is the derby you love to watch. Luna slam good against Rex Bex, the jammer duo. And getting out in front, Luna slam good for the Conspiracy of Assassination City in their, I guess, their home gray. Crossroads with Rex Bex as their jammer.
is out of the pack and now approaching 4 points. And ACRDC, the danger, call the jam. And it is Assassination City who pick up 3 points. Great work there from Luna to close that gap down. It is now a 2-point game. 32 for Assassination City, 34 for Crossroads City. Lordy, I'm not sure I can cope with this.
And we'll see the jammer combo of Didi and Wilhelmina strikes fear. And I've noticed that 2 Crossroads blocker now move up to the pivot line, but it looked like they were going to try to take Wilhelmina out early.
I was kind of waiting to see if we were going to have a timeout because there is such sort of momentum shift going, but Crossroads City, Didi out for lead, but it is a cut track penalty for Wilhelmina strikes fear. And now a power jam for Didi, who has completed a 4-point scoring pass. This is really crucial, this jam. So Assassination City need to close this power jam down to deny any more points to Didi.
Didi working hard, trying to get around Goomba Toomba.
And this is what Assassination City need to be doing. It's 20 seconds into this power jam, and Didi.
And look at the bridging. Yeah, well done.
Yeah. That was a really effective shutdown of that power jam. I mean, not perfect, but that could have been a lot worse.
That wasn't Goomba Toomba on the block. That was indeed 32 Manic Mayhem. But once again, for only the 4th time in this game, we have a multi-point jam, meaning on more than one scoring pass.
But it's now 4 scoring passes for Didi. This is her 4th, just pushing out up front. Wilhelmina strikes fear back on the track.
And Didi now with the highest scoring jam so far today. Previously 10 by General Grand Slam. Currently at 12 by Didi. And look at the power going on both blockers.
Wilhelmina strikes fear is having to use every ounce of strength to push through and cannot get purchase on that Crossroads City wall at the back. And Didi having to do the same up front, but gets through and completes. That's 4th scoring pass for Crossroads City.
And won't get any more on the last one, but that is the highest scoring jam so far this afternoon, in this game at least, with Didi scoring 16.
And opens up that lead. Crossroads City Derby now on 50, Assassination City on 32. Just over 10 minutes left in this half. Opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors, Atom Skates. High quality skates for affordable pricing. Something for everyone at Atom Skates. Check them out online.
Spicy Sriracha against Sparrow Dynamic.
We've seen this lineup before.
Sparrow Dynamic and Sriracha both with 7 points on the game. And Spicy Sriracha finds an opening on the outside line. Able to get through for lead jammer, but right there is Sparrow Dynamic. And look at the action, jammer v jammer.
Sparrow Dynamic doing a fantastic job of messing up Spicy Sriracha's lead jammer. Forces that call off. That was great work from Sparrow Dynamic.
Sparrow Dynamic has actually been working on her blocking of late. She's always been a good jammer as long ago as I've seen her be playing. And she said blocking has been a key, and it shows right there, preventing points.
I mean, if you don't get lead, that is your dream, to delay the game and to then force that call off.
General Grand Slam against KT Swoosh. And although Crossroads City has been able to extend their lead, KT Swoosh has the power to get a lot of points.
And with 2 Crossroads City Derby blockers in the box, KT Swoosh out first for lead. And it's a good half of the track ahead of General Grand Slam.
Right to the back of Mala Bully Barbie. So, trying to swim her way through and gets through for 4 points.
So Assassination City again going with that tactic of playing the jam long. And it seems to be working. General Grand Slam hasn't got out to complete the scoring pass. KT Swoosh now on her 2nd.
It's a crazy crowd, practically tackles one of her own players.
We've all done that.
Well, sitting on 4 penalties, I know she doesn't want to get any more.
Yeah, but it's not a penalty to tackle your own players. It's just not really what you should be doing.
General Grand Slam breaking out for 4 points.
And that was very clever tactics from ACRD blockers. Katie Swoosh hit to the outside. So the blockers came in and hit the person that hit her out so she could just go on skating.
Assassination City with a net 4 on this particular jam. KT Swoosh having to go against a full 4-wall, being anchored by the Crazy Kraut. Also out there, 45 Nikki 6-shooter. And recycling is good for all of us, and that's what KT Swoosh has to do.
The defense from both teams in this jam is just so solid and tight that neither jammer can get purchased. Offense going in on both sides, but General Grand Slam gets the wall reformed in front, hit to the outside, but not hit out.
Manic Mayhem, Roxy Redding, Sparrow Dynamic, all doing a fantastic job blocking, and the jam comes to an end. Wow, that was great defensive derby.
Oh, that was defense dreams. So, but it's Assassination City who pick up the points in that jam. 12-8 for Crossroads City. We now have a 14-point game. 58 to Crossroads City, 44 to Assassination City. Less than 7 minutes left in this half.
And KT Swoosh quickly moves to the top of the charts with 27 points on the afternoon. Luna Slamgood against Hits and Salsa, and Luna breaks free as lead jammer with nary a hit to slow her down.
But Hits and Salsa is also out quickly. Luna with about half a track lead and is hit by one-on-one blocking from Crossroads City, but able to brush them off and stay in track to complete for 4 points. That was phenomenal core strength and agility from Luna.
Malabully Barbie trying to hold her back. Now it's a full 4-wall.
But Luna just brushing off those hits and putting a blocker on the floor herself. Oh, and a little bit of a tangle in the pack. And Luna is back up after being on the floor, tripping over Hits and Salsa.
Lucky that Hits and Salsa did not get a low block from a Crossroads City perspective. And it just looks like a traffic jam you'd see on Central Expressway over in Dallas at 5 in the afternoon. But finally, Luna Slamgood must have paid the Texas toll tag for the express lanes, picks up 4 more points.
And it has been a star pass for Crossroads City. Triple Axel Rose now jamming. So Luna says, I've had enough of this. But that is 9 points for Assassination City. And that is 0, I think, for Crossroads. I'm just checking to see if there are points.
You are correct.
Yep. So that is now 58 for Crossroads City, 53 for Assassination City. A 5-point game with 5 minutes left on the clock.
And we have a timeout as Hits and Salsa being attended to.
Yep.
Gives us an opportunity to tell you about some of the great people who are presenting Clover Cup 2019, including Bond Skates, lighter, stronger, faster. Check out the new Park Stars to fit all of your park and lifestyle needs. I know I have parking and lifestyle needs, but that's mostly in my... Never mind.
So we've had an update on the scores. Crossroads City did pick up 4 points, so that is now 62. Assassination 54. That is still just a 8-point game. The maximum points differential in this game has only been 18 points. And we are, most of the way through the first half. That is so close and is going against what the rankings would suggest. So Assassination City are doing an incredible job of keeping so close to Crossroads that they're still in the game.
And with the amazing scorekeeping that RPG is able to do for us, we take a look at some of the team totals. And you notice that lead jams, 6 for Crossroads, 7 for Assassination City. Scoreless jam, 6 for Crossroads, 5 for Assassination City. But the points per jam, very interesting. 4.1 for Crossroads on 3.6 for Assassination City. And it shows you just how close this game has been.
But I think one of the key things to remember is that penalties, Crossroads City have had 11, 8 for Assassination, and it's the Crazy Kraut who's sat on 5, and that will have an impact in the amount that the Crazy Kraut can be rostered in the second half.
So taking a seat gingerly is Hits and Salsa. Wonder if that might have happened during the big collision that we saw over here in the turn. Not speculating, but best wishes to that young lady.
And a big thank you to the medical teams who make sure that everybody here is safe and well looked after. Good to see Hits and Salsa up and rolling. But yeah, we need to make sure that everybody is as safe as possible in a full contact sport.
When we resume play, Crossroads City, the Sucias will be down 1 blocker as the skaters make their way back onto the track. And taking the jammer star for Assassination City will be Sparrow Dynamic up against Rex Bex.
This will be the 4th jam for Rex Bex for Crossroads City. Sparrow Dynamic, we've seen, have such a big impact in the game, but this will be her 6th jam.
Both with 7 points on the afternoon, and Sparrow Dynamic gets caught up in the middle of the blockers trying to get past Nikki 6-shooter, and it is like 2 sumo wrestlers that have met, except it's 1-on-3 as Sparrow Dynamic tries to get through. An amazing tripod against jammer defense on the other side by ACRD. Forearm call sends one of the ACRD blockers to the box, and that means Rex Bex is the lead jammer.
And is back in the pack on a point-scoring pass, whereas Sparrow Dynamics still yet to complete the initial pass, but we have a star pass from Assassination City. Oh, no, it must have been an incomplete star pass. So Sparrow Dynamic has now got the helmet cover again and has completed her initial pass, causing Rex Bex to call off the jam. There was shenanigans going on there.
I honestly have never seen that. I don't want it. You take it back.
Well, if it wasn't a complete star pass, the pivot has the opportunity to hand it back to avoid a penalty.
It's the first time I've ever seen that.
It's a new rule change. It only came in on January the 1st, so this is the first time I've seen it in a game. But it shows that why that rule change was great, because it was a technical penalty and it didn't affect the gameplay. So why cause that penalty? Let the game flow, and that shows why. That was a great opportunity.
Anything where the game continues on, good by me, as Wilhelmina Strikes Fear shows the power and is out as lead jammer. We'll meet a full 4 wall as the final Crossroads blocker makes it back to the track. Again, Nikki 6-shooter just leading that defense that is stymieing Wilhelmina Strikes Fear, allowing Dee to possibly score some points.
But Moxie Brown on the way to the penalty box just stops themselves in time at the end of that jam, so it will be a blocker advantage to Crossroads. But that jam, Crossroads City picking up 3 points, taking them to 72, but Assassination picking up 4, taking them to 58. So this is still 14-point game. We're still not hitting that biggest differential yet. So Assassination able to crawl back that 1 point. 2.5 minutes left in this jam.
Luna Slam Good on 17 points will take on number 90 Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha, who is currently with 7. Luna finds an inside line but then has to recycle back. Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha caught in the Bermuda Triangle of the Assassination City blockers, but finds that her ship has come in and breaks free for lead jammer.
Great use of the outside line to split up that wall in front of her so that she's able to get released. But it is Crossroads City who have a blocker now sitting in the penalty box, and it's Assassination City with a full pack on track.
Ruby Rad with a hit, taking Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha to the inside. Meanwhile, putting the star back on after the star stash would be Luna Slam Good.
So both jammers now on points, about to score points. Spicy Sriracha sees the danger, calls the jam, so Assassination City held to 0, Crossroads picking up the full 4. So that's 76 now, playing 58. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in this half, and I need a breather. I need the 15 minutes to go and recover. This game is just so full of passion and excitement.
KT Swoosh will have what is probably the last jam of the half against number 5 General Grand Slam.
You know you just jinxed that, right?
Of course I did. It's 27 points for KT Swoosh so far, 18 points for General Grand Slam, and KT Swoosh, there it is. She's your lead jammer.
80% lead jammer percentage, and in one half is incredible. And we have a helmet cover change. Triple Axel Rose now jamming after that star pass for Crossroads City. I forgot the word for star pass for a moment. That's how much I'm into this game. I'm just like, things are happening.
Well, let's see if I jinxed it or not.
4 points for Assassination City in that jam, taking them to just 14 points behind Crossroads City.
And you talk about needing to take a breather. Crossroads City playing their first game. Assassination City played at 10 this morning, and they're back on the track.
And that is only 6 hours later, and we are in intermission. So we have, yep, that has been confirmed. We are in half-time now, so 76 to Crossroads City, 62 to Assassination City. Just what an amazing first half. I can't wait for that second one to happen.
And with that score, 76 to 62, we take time out, and we'll see you for the second half here on Clover Cup 2019 from North Richland Hills, Texas.
And welcome back to day 1, game 4, which I'm clearly having a problem with, at the Clover Cup here in Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Derby Devils. I'm Dork Mistress.
And I'm Cecil B. Puff Daddy. Great to have you along.
I think my brains have been scrambled from that first half. That was a phenomenal 30 minutes of roller derby. 76 points to Crossroads City Derby, 62 points to Assassination City Roller Derby. What did you think of that first half, Cecil?
Well, I think that I was waiting for KT Swoosh to start breaking out after follow up her 130-point game in her first game, and she did with 31 points to lead Assassination City. 17 for Luna Slamgood. She was the only other double-digit scorer for Assassination City. For Crossroads City, Dee Dee leads the way with 19, General Grand Slam with 18, and Rex Bex with 14. Spicy Sriracha and Hits and Salsa also helping with 11 and 10. Penalties, I don't think anybody's in real trouble after the crazy crowd who went out with 4 penalties in like the first 10 minutes.
But I think that the challenge is not the number of penalties each blocker has got. It's been the number of jammer penalties that have been in this first half and the overall number of penalties. So Crossroads sitting on 17, and it was 10 penalties for Assassination City. And we only had 19 jams in that first half. And part of that was the penalties coming into play, taking lead status away, forcing 2-minute jams, but also just the tactics that were in play, just trying to run the jams long to maximize the differential.
We're somewhat distracted by the amazing singing from our crowd here at the Nitec Sports Center.
Not just singing, we have air singing, air guitar going on. It's Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, if you can hear it in the background. And who doesn't give everything to Living on a Prayer?
Especially karaoke bars, which I absolutely love. One thing that I've noticed in last game that Assassination City played, Goomba Toomba came on and had a great second half, scoring 51 points. She is yet to score and has only jammed one time.
We did see that in the first game, that it was only in that one jam, but we are now, the period whistle has gone. Well, sorry, not the period whistle, but that we are getting underway. Teams are lined up on the track, but as you said, one jam in the first half. Goomba Toomba then had a big impact in the second half. we would want to see that here, but we only had 7 jams of the 19 that had multiple scoring passes. This is how tight the defense is, and the fact that we have only scored like 140 points across both teams is the lowest we've seen so far at this tournament. We are now underway. It's Rex Bex for Crossroads City Derby, Luna Slamgood for Assassination City Roller Derby on the jam line.
Assassination City on the day, 9 lead jams, Crossroads City 8. Yeah, it's been that kind of game. They've gone back and forth as to who's got lead. Nobody has really taken a big-time lead with the possible exception of an early lead that Crossroads had.
18 points has been the biggest differential in this game, and we are still only at 14 points. But it is Rex Bex who pushes out front to pick up lead.
Rex Bex against Luna Slamgood, and Rex Bex will have the first opportunity to score.
But Luna Slamgood is also now approaching for points. And Rex Bex sees the danger, calls the jam, and it is 2 points for Crossroads and none for Assassination City in this first jam. So I think I'm really interested to see what the next couple of jams are going to be like, because who's come out of halftime on fire? Who's had the inspirational speech? Who's worked out how to lock down that defense to get some offense in? That's what I want to see in the next few jams.
And we'll see Wilhelmina Strikes Fear taking on Spicy Sriracha. 11 points for Spicy. 7 points for Wilhelmina, and Wilhelmina hits the floor early and is having to recycle way back around her jammer opponent.
That was a jammer takeout by Spicy Sriracha. Sorry, I need to apologize. It is Spicy Sriracha.
Wilhelmina Strikes Fear. That's a long name, too. So long it takes the top and the bottom of the number. Wilhelmina doing a little S-curve over there, staying in on her toe stops, tries to take it to the inside. Takes a little bit of a pause and is eventually getting around number 10.
Spicy Sriracha, who has had a helmet cover stash to get through, and is Crossroads with the pivot in the box and the pack advantage to Assassination City. But both jammers now scoring points.
Wilhelmina trying to make her way through Malabully Barbie, who has had an amazing game of blocking so far. We've called her name many times.
But Wilhelmina has made it out to complete that scoring pass. So has Spicy Sriracha. I think I get hung up on the fact that She-Ra was one of my favorite characters as a child watching
Masters
cartoons.
of the Universe and She-Ra.
Yeah.
Wilhelmina will take a seat after scoring 12 points. Spicy Sriracha with 4.
So that is 82 points for Crossroads City, 74 for Assassination City. So that is 8 points in it, 27 minutes left in this game. This is so tight.
General Grand Slam up against KT Swoosh. KT Swoosh, a financial manager, saying keeping all those numbers together and having good communication is actually helping her in Derby in every aspect.
But it's General Grand Slam pushing out up front, and KT Swoosh not yet over the pivot line. The pack being split out across to turn 2, and General Grand Slam pushes out for lead.
A note on the last jam for Wilhelmina Strikes Fear, a 12-point jam matching the highest scoring jam for Assassination City, as we have a star pass.
It was Goomba Toomba who picked up the helmet cover for Assassination City and forced off that call-off, but both teams picking up points. Crucially, Crossroads City picking up 3, Assassination 2, 85 now playing 76. That is 9 points. When it's this close, I can do the maths in my head.
And I love the fact that you say maths.
That's because that's the right way to say it.
Of course it is. It's mathematics. It's not mathematic.
Indeed. So DD on the jam line for Crossroads City. Sparrow Dynamic for Assassination City.
Sparrow gets knocked to the inside, but she just has a never-give-up attitude. I mean, it's using the rugby terminology, it's like the old days when they used to bind running into each other. But it is DD with lead jammer status.
DD now approaching the pack on a scoring pass. Sparrow Dynamic pushing out front on her initial pass, but it is a penalty for Dee.
Yeah, back block as she went right up to the back and pushed down Cannibal Cupcakes.
So it is a power jam for Assassination City, and it is also a blocker going for Crossroads City to the penalty box. And we have a star pass. Mayhem is now the jammer for Assassination City. So we have still 10 seconds left of this power jam. Dee is standing. Mayhem is scoring points. This is crucial.
One-on-one against Malabully Barbie. And the wall holds strong. Mayhem trying to push her way through.
But Dee approaches that tripod of Crossroads of Assassination City and having to push out up front, but they reform ahead of her. Manic Mayhem pushing hard at the back.
Trying to go against Nikki Six Shooter and Triple Axel Rose. Meanwhile, Dee finally able to outlast the ACRD blockers to score 4 points.
But neither jammer is lead, so this will go the full 2 minutes. Crossroads City picking up that 4 on the board. But Assassination, so Mayhem for Assassination scoring, but it haven't been able to clear the pack yet.
We talked about Sparrow Dynamic working on that blocking, and you see it right there going up against Dee. One-on-one blocking.
And forced the hit out. So that was really important. So Crossroads City picking up 8 points in that jam, but Assassination City picking up just waiting to see how many points. 4 points.
Manic Mayhem used every bit of energy she had to get through that jam.
But it was 8-4, so 93 for Crossroads City, 80 for Assassination City. We have a timeout, and it is an official timeout that's been called, so 23 minutes left in this game while we have this official timeout. Wow.
We'll tell you that bras are the worst. That's what it says here. Bras are the worst. Ditch your bra and get the comfort and support in a cami without the annoyance of bras and underwires. And that's from Ruby Ribbon, because bras are the worst.
I'm so not going to disagree with that.
I don't know.
And this official timeout also brought to you by Blood and Thunder. Visit the Blood and Thunder booth if you're here for roller derby inspired apparel and accessories. Our motto is life's better on roller skates. Also check them out online. Official timeout comes to an end.
93 on 80. Crossroads City over Assassination City.
13 points. I think anybody can do that maths.
Jammer to the track, and Luna slam good. Rex Bex takes advantage and breaks out as your lead jammer.
But Luna Slam Good also out half the track behind. So Rex Beck's going to be looking for those points, and beautiful offense from her blockers. Gives her the 4 points, lets her hit it and quit it. 97 now playing 80. 17 points.
I think Rex Bex wanted a penalty called as she looked back at the official and was saying a few words of displeasure. But now we'll see Wilhelmina Strikes Fear coming off that great 12-point jam in her last jam up against number 90 Spicy Sriracha.
So I think the thing to look at so far, 4 lead jams for Crossroads City, only 1 for Assassination City in this half. And Wilhelmina Strikes Fear hit out to the outside, recycles, pushes out to join the front of the pack. Oh, and that was a last-second hit out from number 45. That was great blocking from Nikki Six Shooter, having an amazing game.
Cutting the track is the call against Wilhelmina Strikes Fear. She'll take a seat.
Yep.
And now we have cutting the track called up against number 90. That's Spicy Sriracha.
Cuz gone wild, understanding the tactics in that, really happy.
So 2 penalties being called against Wilhelmina Strikes Fear, which is why she's still sitting in the penalty box, giving a power jam opportunity to Spicy Sriracha.
But this will be a 2-minute jam as neither jammer is eligible for lead. Wilhelmina Strikes Fear now released from the penalty box, but Spicy Sriracha has completed initial pass. And we're just checking on what that whistle was. It's a forearms penalty for the Assassination City pivot, number 130, Sparrow Dynamic. Sparrow Dynamic is a true triple threat. Blocker, pivot, jammer, does the washing up. You know.
She might sing and dance as well. Making her way through Spicy Zero Cha-Cha, member of Team Korea in the World Cup.
But Wilhelmina Strikes Fear also out completing initial pass, but it's Spicy Shurachacha on second scoring pass, Wilhelmina on her first. And Spicy Shurachacha was just given that outside line by her blockers. Really evidence of it's blockers that earn the points, it's jammers that collect them.
So despite the penalty that goes to Wilhelmina Strikes Fear, creating one of the longer power jams you'll see in recent days, not like those days where you'd have the power jams that would go on for 2 minutes. That penalty only costs Assassination City 8 points, and they're very lucky to get through with that.
So it's 105 for Crossroads City up against 80 for Assassination City. 19 minutes, 50 seconds left in this game, and we have a timeout called by Crossroads City.
And Crossroads City is taking a timeout.
So it's a good chance to talk about Kaya skates. Kaya setting new standards in Derby, park and lifestyle roller skates. Now taking orders for the Kaya Kismet, the perfect park skate for $229.
Well, since it is getting to be blockbuster season in the movies, we'll just say it this way. 13 tracks, 200 games, 2 tournaments, 4 rule sets, a skate park, hundreds of coaches and classes, plus parties, and 24-hour access to the pool. Where does it happen? RollerCon.
Las Vegas. So party with a bit of roller derby, or roller derby and party, whichever way around you want it, but you get to go to Las Vegas.
And what happens in Vegas?
Stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas.
Or on your criminal record. Depends how far you push it.
So taking a look at the penalty board, it's a crazy crowd on 6 right now.
That was from the first half, so it's a crazy crowd on that last chance saloon.
Assassination City, nobody in penalty trouble right now. Luna Slamgood gets slammed to the inside, courtesy of number 6, Malibu Early Barbie. I'm having trouble saying Malibu Bully Barbie.
But it is a forearms penalty for Dee. So it is a power jam for Assassination City and an opportunity for Luna to pick up lead. Lead is still open. Oh, there's my ref. There's my ref experience coming in. Lead is open. Lead is closed. Luna Slamgood picking up lead for Assassination City.
And pretty much the stage door wide open. They're not even going to try to do any offensive blocking until a recycle happens as Corkscrew U comes back to try to counter the bit of a pullback by Crossroads City, and Luna Slamgood fights her way through for 4 points.
Dee back on track and in the pack. So Crossroads City only letting 4 points through in that power jam, which is great work from the defense. We've just seen such incredible defense the whole game from both teams.
Dee to the back of the pack. Luna Slamgood able to break her way through. Dee untouched on the inside line. Both jammers, 4 points.
But it is Luna who is lead and has that opportunity to call it off when that's best strategically. Luna hit out to the outside and recycled back to turn 2. And it's Dee pushing out up front. High block. High block for Dee. So second penalty for Crossroads City jammer in this one jam. And Luna Slamgood makes the most of that to complete third scoring pass for Assassination City.
And as the 2 minutes runs out, 12 points on the jam for Luna Slamgood. That also equaling the high score jam for Assassination City, held by Wilhelmina Strikes Fear and KT Swoosh. Luna Slamgood with 12 points in this half to add to her Points from the first half at 29, and that means we have a 111 on 92 game.
Yep, 6 points for Crossroads City Derby in that jam. So we have 19 points between the two teams. 17 minutes left on the clock. Katie Swoosh on the jam line against Dee, who is in the box. So power start to Assassination City.
Assassination City with numbers written on the back of their legs in honor of Washington and Night Fury, who both suffered some pretty serious injuries in a scrimmage just a few days ago, from what I understand, and they're all playing tribute and playing in honor of those two skaters. And KT Swoosh, beautiful move.
Sometimes you just go, oh, that was fantastic footwork on the outside line. So that's completed scoring pass for KT Swoosh. Crossroads City Derby passing the star to General Grand Slam, who completes the initial pass and forces that jam to be called. But it is 8 for Assassination, taking them to 100. Crossroads City on 111, 11 points in this game. 16 minutes left on the clock. And this next jam is going to be brought to you by Pro Design. Since 1986, Pro Design Inc. continues to manufacture 100% USA-made, world-class protective products right out of Houston, Texas. Texas built, Texas tough. All right, and yeehaw from Texas. I do this every game just to crack up the announcers and everyone living at home.
Beautiful.
Apologies to the entire state of Texas.
I love it. Yeehaw. Wilhelmina takes a tumble as she is jamming up against Rex Becks. Both defensive blocking walls doing an excellent job. Wilhelmina trying to find an inside line. Rex Becks goes the outside. Sparrow Dynamic and Goomba Toomba holding her back. Joining in is Ruby Rad. Now the question is, will the bridge be long enough? Ruby Rad with a hit. And finally, your lead jammer belongs to Crossroads City and Rex Becks.
But that took 40 seconds, and that is why bridging matters. Assassination City pass the star to Goomba Toomba. Rex Becks in the pack, scoring points. Up against Wilhelmina as a blocker now.
Goomba Toomba using speed and power and agility, making her way through, picking up 4 points. That's coming from behind to score.
Oh, that's sneaking the 4 points when Crossroads only pick up the 1. So 112 now plays 104. 8-point game. 8-point game with 14 minutes left on the clock.
This has been the most competitive game so far, and it's been the most fun. I mean, you're seeing great technical aspects from both teams.
Apparently, a native Texan now needs me to say howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy. Is that right? Is that wrong?
Howdy is right. Howdy. The translation, hi, y'all. Luna Slamgood into the penalty box, joined by a Crossroads City blocker. That means Spicy Sriracha will have an opportunity for a power jam, and this can extend the Crossroads lead.
This is a crucial time to have a jammer penalty. Spicy Sriracha completing that, trying to complete that pass, but it is a cut trap penalty. And just we were like, oh my god, was that Spicy Sriracha? Because we have a full 30 seconds as Luna Slamgood is released from the box just before Spicy Sriracha sits down.
And Luna getting a whip from Goomba Toomba. A little old-style derby there is beautifully done as Luna Slamgood now on her first scoring pass.
And I think you can tell from our voices just how exciting this is. Oh!
It's triple axel Rose making Luna Slamgood do a triple axel outside of the box, or outside of the track. That's a no pass, no penalty, and she makes it through for 4 points.
But Crossroads City Derby only allowing 4 points in that penalty for Spicy Sriracha to be scored against them. Luna scoring second pass.
Goomba Toomba with a key block to keep Spicy Sriracha from getting through.
Goomba Toomba is just all of my blocker dreams right now. And jammer, and just all of it.
Luna trying to push her way through. As Sparrow Dynamic comes up to provide some offensive blocking, Luna tries to break free. Goomba comes up to do some offensive blocking, and wow.
Both jammers picking up 4 points in that scoring pass, but Assassination City had that extra pass. So 8 points to them, 4 to Crossroads. That's 116 to Crossroads City, 112 to Assassination City. I'm really excited. There's still 12 minutes left to go in this game. And it's Assassination City in the last 4 or 5 jams have scored the points. Timeout called by Assassination City.
And you notice that actually the Assassination City coach said, I didn't call timeout. The other guy called timeout. But Assassination City gets charged with a timeout. And I noticed that they waited until 29 seconds on the lineup clock. They're just trying to get some sort of rest, as these guys have been just working so hard.
I mean, that's the way to maximize your timeout, because you get a minute and a half rather than a minute. So very clever bench tactics from the coach. But yeah, it's just so exciting. And just seeing Assassination City come back in those last few jams is why we watch roller derby. And this is why I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, there's strategy, but I'm just really excited.
Or as they would say here in Texas, strategery. Just kidding. That was just one guy that would say that. So let's set the scene. 116 on 112. Crossroads with a 4-point lead. They have not relinquished the lead one time this game. No. It will be KT Swoosh jamming for Assassination City, taking on number 5. That is General Grant Slam. This was the first jammer tandem we saw in the game, and now in the big-time jam here.
So in 7 jams ago, there was a 31-point differential, and we are now down to a 4-point game in just those 7 jams.
And here comes KT Swoosh. Around turn 4, and swoosh, there she goes.
Swoosh by name, swoosh by nature, but General Grand Slam also out of the pack. Oh, but swooshed round on the outside with some great offense.
So for a moment, the game is tied with a 4-point scoring pass.
But General Grand Slam is also scoring, so we are back to a 4-point game. KT Swoosh clears the pack, back to tied, but General Grand Slam approaching the pack.
So now it's a little bit like tennis. Serve and answer, serve and answer.
Yep.
General Grant Slam, KT Swoosh, both of whom finding the floor. But KT Swoosh has been called for a forearm penalty or a back block.
Oh, but we have both jammers in the box. General Grand Slam in, and both jammers are now out and back on the track. Because I was about to say that KT Swoosh had lapped General Grand Slam.
KT Swoosh having to recycle back, but quickly does it. Finds the blockers not paying attention, and KT Swoosh breaks through, and guess what? That means 4 points in our first Assassination City lead.
124 now playing 120. Both jammers scoring. Both jammers out of the pack, but it's KT Swoosh who's coming out quicker. General Grand Slam completes that second pass, but KT completes 4th scoring pass. I'm not sure my nerves can take this.
KT Swoosh with the highest scoring jam today. 16 points, add 3 more to it, 19 points to give the Conspiracy a 131-22 lead with 9:43 to go.
So remember, 8 jams ago there was a 31-point differential, and now it is a 9-point differential the other way. 9.5 minutes left on this game. I'm not sure my voice or my nerves or my energy or everything will hold out.
And Assassination City, we mentioned this earlier, playing their second game today within about 6 hours. So they're working on tired legs and working up against a team that is higher ranked than they are. as Crossroads is at number 91 in the WFTDA standings against 125 for Assassination City.
Assassination City came in as the 4th seed and Crossroads as the 1st, but Wilhelmina Strikes Fear out of the pack, lead jammer. And Dee also out of the pack on the initial pass, but Wilhelmina in the pack scoring points. Dee approaches, Wilhelmina calls that jam, but 2 vital points. 133 for Assassination, now playing 122 Crossroads, 11 points difference.
And Crossroads will start with a 1 skater advantage as Moxie Brown called for a penalty just before the jam ends. So that means Rex Bex will go against Luna. And Rex Bex will have 1 less blocker to contend with. 8:17 clock rolling here at the Nitec Sports Center, North Richland Hills, Crossroads City taking on Assassination City.
In this absolutely thrilling, nail-biting matchup, Luna being hit to the inside and the outside of the back. Rex Bex pushing out up front, 1 blocker to go, and that's lead jammer for Crossroads City.
Goomba Toomba trying to make the most of the bridge, but finally it just ran out.
And Luna taking a hit to the floor, but is back up as Rex Bex finds a gap on the outside to add some offense up front. Oh, a real train of offense from Crossroads City.
Power jam opportunity after a forearm penalty called against Luna Slamgood. And now Rex Bex with an opportunity to bring Crossroads City back.
Crossroads City with a ACRD blocker back as a goat to try and keep the pack in the same place and reduce the effort for Rex Bex, who is pushing out. But that is a dynamic, flexible wall of 3 up front. Just as I say that, Rex Bex finds the gap and makes it out to score. Second scoring pass, 8 points, 130 now, 3 points behind Assassination City, 133.
If she can get through on this scoring pass, she'll have an opportunity to take the lead back.
And it's a back block penalty for Rex Bex. Power jam to Assassination City. Luna hit out to the inside and recycled back.
And the pendulum swings the other way. Luna, who had picked up 2 penalties in her last 2 jams. That was her first 2 penalties today. And Luna will pass it off to 32 Manic Mayhem. And this was very successful the last time they did it. But with only 4 seconds left to go on the jam clock, no more points scored, and Assassination City holds on to the lead.
By their fingertips. So 133 for Assassination City, 130 for Crossroads City, picking up 8 points in that jam. 6 minutes left to go in this game. But on the jam line for Assassination City, we have
KT Swoosh.
I just love how you say that. KT Swoosh, we've seen, is a game changer and shows why. Picking up lead in 7 seconds for Assassination City. But Rex Bex has been released from the box and is back on track, but KT scoring points.
KT Swoosh, 130 points in her first game, 58 going into this jam in her second game of Clover Cup 2019. Ruby Rad called for a direction of play call.
But Rex Bex not able to clear the pack on their initial pass yet. And Announcer's Curse hits and Rex Bex is out. KT Swoosh on the first scoring pass, but hit out and recycled a number of times. Both jammers now on the first scoring pass into the pack.
The Crazy Kraut and Triple Axel Rose. We've been saying both those names as far as blocking is concerned, and they are just stymieing KT Swoosh.
And that was a big hit, sending KT Swoosh to the track floor, but is back. Both jammers having to push hard, but it is the release of the Assassination City blocker, some timed offense. Both jammers get out, but KT Swoosh is lead, can call it off. I think they're going to play it long again. Probably the right tactics at this point in the game.
4 points for each team on their first scoring pass. A whistle blown in the middle, possibly a multiplayer block, and it is against Corkscrew U. KT Swoosh gets up a little slowly, and we've got a player down for Crossroads City.
But that was great sportsmanship from KT Swoosh. Thought that had been a big hit, wanted to make sure everybody was safe, and that's exactly what happened. So the jam was called, but 7 points for Assassination City, 6 points for Crossroads City. 136 now playing 140. We have an official timeout, but the skater is up and, going back to the benches. So great medical team support. And 4-point game, less than 4 minutes in it.
Yeah, that is the Crazy Kraut, who of course is German, comes from playing with Charm City, Wasatch, which is in the Pacific Northwest, and the Koshiki Roller Dolls. So definitely a world-traveled player.
That's somebody who loves roller derby no matter where they are and is able to use this amazing community to play their sport wherever they end up in their life. I've been able to go and train with teams all over Europe when I've been able to travel, and it's one of the best things about the sport is you just take your skates, you rock up somewhere and go, hey, can I come play? And they're like, yes, please, come tell us about roller derby from where you are. So that official timeout is just making sure that everything is in order. So you can see the officials having a bit of a huddle. But the teams are lining up, and we're just doing some track repair.
And honestly, the skating officials got to feel a little fatigue as well because they're working hard out there.
There are so many things in this game going on. We've had 55 penalties across the two teams, split quite equally. But this is how tight it is. Team point per jam, 4.1 for Crossroads City, wow. 4.2 for Assassination City.
And both teams with 15 lead jams each. 3:37 to go. 140 for Assassination City. 136 for the Sucias of Crossroads City. Luna Slamgood taking on against Spicy Sriracha, and it'll be Spicy Sriracha out as the lead jammer.
But we have a star pass for Assassination City, and it is now Goomba Toomba who has the star, and we've seen that have devastating effect. Both jammers in the pack scoring points. Goomba Toomba now pushing out up front. Spicy Sriracha is in the back.
Sparrow Dynamic called for a multiplayer block, and Spicy Sriracha comes through and is hit with a forearm penalty. A forearm penalty on Spicy Sriracha, and now Goomba Toomba with 4 points to extend Assassination City lead by 4.
It is a power jam at such a crucial point in this game that I'm just like, oh, let's see what happens. We've seen Crossroads City Derby, shut down power jams, and they are devastating up front. This wall of 4 holding back Goomba Toomba.
9.99 Twisted Sybil, 45 Nikki 6-shooter, number 6 Malabuli Barbie all try to hold Goomba Toomba back, but she escapes and gets through for 4 more points, extending the Assassination City lead, and then gets a beautiful apex jump for 4 more.
But Spicy Sriracha takes that outside line unnoticed, picking up 4 points. Both jammers in the pack. Oh, and that was a massive hit from number 45, Nikki 6-shooter.
In midair. In basketball, that would have been a foul, not so much in roller derby. And the results of all that, 14 points for Assassination City, 8 for Crossroads City. It's a 10-point game with just about 92 seconds to go. Timeout on the floor.
Not a surprise that timeout has been called. But So,
the Dork Mistress, how do you describe this? Oof.
I don't have words, I just have noises. That was just, Assassination City having the power jam at that point was just so crucial to how these I think, how these last 90 seconds are going to go and who's going to end up on top. 144 points, now playing 152, 90 seconds to go. This is going to be a last jam, you know, just,
So Assassination City losing one of their top players, the triple threat Sparrow Dynamic, to penalties.
But that timeout has come to an end and we are lining up. We have number 5 for Crossroads City, General Grand Slam, lining up against
KT Swoosh. 152 on 144 Dork Mistress. Here we go.
General Grand Slam pushing out up front, but Crossroads City defense holding solid against KT Swoosh.
Nikki Six-Shooter leading that pack, but it's General Grand Slam who almost had her elbow pad ripped off in the fray. Has lead jammer. Crossroads City has their control of the jam, but Goomba Toomba with a star pass.
Assassination City passing the star, but Crossroads City seeing the danger, hitting it and quitting it for the 4 points. 148 now playing 152, so it is a 4-point game. 51 seconds left on the clock. We have a timeout. Again, not a surprise that a timeout has been called. I'm just seeing who's called the timeout. It is Crossroads City who have called that timeout.
Well, we at the World Cup and at playoffs a couple years ago called this the Fred effect. When Shut the Fred Up would say, is this really happening? Is this really happening? Yes, it is. A 4-point game with less than a minute to go.
And remember, these teams not that close in the rankings that this points score would show. Assassination City already having played that game, just bringing heart and passion and stubbornness and persistence into the game. And
you have to believe that Assassination City, using the somewhat home court advantage, although this is a neutral venue, having some of their hometown folks here.
And the crowd are really providing. Oh, and it is a timeout from Assassination City. So we're into second timeout now. I think they just won that break.
Well, let's take that break to give you some amazing numbers. 16 lead jams for Crossroads City to 15 against Assassination City. Points for jam, 4.2 for the Sucias. The Conspiracy, 4.4. Just amazing. Scoreless jams. Assassination City with 12. 10 for Crossroads, but Assassination City really using the helmet cover as part of their strategy.
Yeah. And it is KT Swoosh as the jammer with the most points, 65 points out of Assassination City's 152.
So it will be number 90, Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha against KT Swoosh. Less than a minute to go. The whistle blows. We'll hear 5 seconds, and then it will be a race. One scoring pass, the difference.
Yeah. And the place is going insane.
And away they go. It is a maul in the back. Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha trying to get it around Chloroform Cupcakes, who shuts that down.
But KT Swoosh jumps back on for that recycle so it doesn't take her back too fast. Bursts out. Crossroads City trying to reform. Fail. Lead jammer KT Swoosh, but Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha right behind her.
So Assassination City has this game in hand as long as they can equalize the scoring and run the time out. Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha trying to make her way through, but an amazing wall of gray there. Manic Mayhem, Cannibal Cupcakes in there. Just absolutely putting it up along with Goomba Toomba, keeping Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha at bay.
That is a power wall from Assassination City, but it's not good enough. Spicy Sierra Cha-Cha gets out.
And it scored 4 points, and we have a tie game right now. Swoosh calls it off, and we have a unicorn at the Clover Cup 2019. Is this really happening? Yes, it is. But Assassination City apparently picks up 4 points.
So that is 152 as the unofficial score to Crossroads, 156 to Assassination.
So let's try to explain what just happened. The scoreboard, when the time went off, read 152 to 152, but KT Swoosh still had the opportunity to pick up 4 points and did at the very last second.
Yeah. And we are just waiting for the jam refs to confirm all of that, waiting for the final official score. And it is the game of the day so far.
Oh, wow.
Assassination City stealing that game in the, not even the last jam, the last second of that game. 156 to Assassination City, 152 to Crossroads City. I need to go and lie down in a darkened room now.
Well, KT Swoosh picking up the 4 points. You know, that's one of those things where if you're naming an MVP and you do that at the last minute, you got it right there.
Game changer, absolute game changer in both games, KT Swoosh.
KT Swoosh, 69 points. The 4 points at the end, definitely the thing that make the difference in this one, that amazing awareness, as RPG points out to us.
It's not just where are you on the track, where are the blockers, it's where is the other jammer, how many points have they got. Perfect timing by KT Swoosh to secure that win for Assassination City.
Let's give credit where credit is due. Also, Crossroads, Spicy Sriracha, 41 points. Rexbex, 39. General Clan Slam, 31, 27 for DD. For Assassination City, KT Swoosh with 69, Luna Slam Good with 37, 21 for Wilhelmina Strike Sphere, and Goomba Toomba with 18 key points, most of them on star passes.
And it is worth remembering, Crossroads City were in the lead for 3/4 of that game, but were never able to get a bigger differential than about 31 points. So just a thrilling game to watch.
Well, Dork Mistress, this was worth crossing the pond, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. So for those of you that this is not enough, remember that the next game is going to be our juniors game. We have Rolling Rebellion up against Tulsa. That will be on on YouTube. It will be on next. For us, we get to calm down for 30 minutes.
So until we calm down a little bit and enjoy ourselves, for the Dork Mistress, I am Cecil B. Puff Daddy. Thank you for being with us. Once again, our final score. In the final jam, KT Swoosh picking up 4 points as the clock runs out to make it 156 Assassination City, 152 for Crossroads City at Clover Cup 2019.